Right. It is the 5th October 2016. Um, I want to explain for Dennis's parents to get excuse from the Danish government and the Justice Ministry what happened when I was trying to rescue Dennis in a car in Ribe, south of Denmark, close to the German border. I am an educated diplomat, intelligence, and I worked Cold War, and I worked later Northern Ireland, and I also worked Yugoslavia. Meaning I have some skills in observation, in judgmental, and in mental evaluation and stuff like that. And I heard a radio outcall from the Germany police in Germany about the kidnapper that has a kid. And every time I hear this, because it was close to the German border and the radio call could be from a German police car close to the border, I couldn't really hear it if it was search on the official station, FM tape or AM tape. I just listened to it. So actually, then in the evening I was walking in Ribe, which is an old town, and I heard very, very loud screaming and crying. And it was around midnight, and I walked towards the screaming as I normally do. Could be something serious, and it was. So actually, in front of the old hotel in Ribe was a car where there was a boy inside the car, and I estimated he was about 10, 12 years old. And he was looking disturbed and frightened, and he was crying. I couldn't get him to pull the window down. I wanted to ask if everything was okay. And the person, the man, didn't have any luggage. And there wasn't any woman, mother. So actually that picture or that scenery made me even more worried. So I decided, which you sometimes do in this case, to put it all on risk, meaning that I could get hurt. So actually I approached the man and tried to get him to pull his window down, and he refused. So I actually stayed and went a little harder on that. And he actually came out, and he was aggressive and ran after me. And my plan was to lure him away from the car so the boy could step out of the car and run into the hotel. Before, because I was aware of that he was about to drive and to sit after a car at night that maybe drives illegally faster or whatever, or no, we don't need to know what way he would do, you know. So actually, I lured him down the street, and this man was running after me. And I tried to defend myself legally. And so I ran into a pizza restaurant and asked them to call police. And I explained that I had a suspicion on a man and a child. And they turned up. But they made a mistake. They arrested me, didn't take the child and the man in for examination or question. They took me in and didn't want to hear my story. Actually, I told the story anyway. So actually, they threw me in the car and drove me to a hospital. And actually, that is about something else. That's about commercial explore, abuse, power abuse, and so on. Stolen ID and stolen CV and so on. That's another story. Organized crimes, political crimes, stuff like that. Police in that town miscalculated, and I was in for months, and it took me many calls to United States Embassy, and also one of the lawyers under the United States Embassy lawyer list was the one that got me out in a trial. which is pretty unusually to get out on a lawyer trial for trying to save a boy. So after I learned that Dennis was killed up north in Denmark, I recognized his photo as the boy in the car and also the man. Then I knew that why there was this was the kidnapped boy, and I also knew that the police has made a mistake. Police has since tried to cover up, and in the before cases of stolen royalty, identity, income for diplomacy, and so on. In the later case in 2012, also along with the mail scandal and the Benghazi scandal, a lot of mails and letters and fax were going to the FBI from 1986, 1991 about security and witness protection on entertainment, about tax income investigation, about security around diplomacy, about diplomatic issues, and so on. So actually, some of these things, the facts to the FBI and also the calls to the FBI before was serious business. And in 2012, I was warned in Esbjerg, which is also the south, about concern about my security from Norway. So I actually again emailed the FBI and the White House, and it then later shows up that 12th September 2012 that the communal police took my boy in an illegally case where the boy was hurt, and they covered up after that. And actually, later the cover up from police and court system and minister is now one of the biggest scandal in Denmark, together with the cooperation with the Clintons, meaning that the Clintons' separate mail system and actions in the Benghazi case and in the Esbjerg, and the calls made in 2012 after they'd been inside the apartment and took the boy, where I called the United States to say that I was unsafe. All that is recorded. I also called the dad of the child, I called the newspaper, so there is nothing hidden in that case beside police cover up and their lawyers, which is a long list of generally hopeless and criminal lawyers. And then some few court personnel, also pretty hopeless and pretty criminal, and communal ministry in a political crime. Meaning going back to also political crime of red fascism plaguing 88, where my best friend was killed, policeman Jesper, and where they also made a cover up. So actually we have a long list of mistakes by the Danish police. We have media explorer, we have design, patent stolen, royalty, data, CV, ID, and so on. Even horse has been stolen, as we all know. So it's not so much about me, but they try to make the scenery of all of this. I hope that Dennis's parents, just like me, fight that fight from that night. I think that fight we put up, me and the boy, was the strongest fight I ever had with anybody in a short time. And I think that I pulled everything I had. I took the chance of my life, and I didn't get the help we normally do when we do that. I've done it before. And I actually have been on operation in Österreich. You probably know who I talk about. Putting my life at risk and get the help I needed from police and rescue people and hospitals. Not this time. And I am very furious and angry and sad and traumatized by this. And I want an excuse from the Danish Justice Ministry to the parents of Dennis. I also want an excuse for what they did to me, and I want an excuse for covering up all of these things. Now you probably noticed that I have a cover on my face, and that's because I still want to be active in trying to save people. And it is like that pedophilia networking or organized crime often hit you. And I've been hit before and probably be hit again, but I don't give up. And actually right now, I'm fighting for my boy, Alex. I'm fighting for finding other people in this matter. Alan Atkinson, Daniel Bartner, Heidi Jepsen, Gunvar Kruse, Ethan Petts, and probably also the Bermontulan, which is one of my dearest things, to try and sort where we've been and where we are and so on. And also get a stop from explore in TV, film, music, ballet, magazines, architecture, design, and the traffic in that and the pedophilia network in that. That's what we're fighting for now, right? And we're also fighting against corruption, corrupted leaders, pedophilia network in VIPs. We are fighting a lot of chess match here, right? So don't you give up on that excuse, mom and dad of the Danish, as I don't give up on anything at all, you know. And I hope we get that excuse so we can close off some of the case. Then I want to say something to the German police. Actually, I bought a schnauzer, black schnauzer, also for Dennis' parents, and that name is Krasse. And the schnauzer is, I have two dogs here. There are Spurhunde, and they are also trained for defense work, right? And actually the schnauzer has a name called Krasse, and that reminds me about Straße, same story. And the Straße on the Krasse is actually a kind of memory thing that keeps myself and things up here, you know. I think they know what I mean. So actually I hope that both my dogs will save another time somebody and defend me if necessary. I hope that Dennis's parents, I have to say I was in civil because I am not recognized by the Danes in any way. I have no rights here at all. I am Australian, I was married in the United States, and I lost a lot of money in Europe, and I lost a lot of time, I lost my family and so on. So it's not that I am part of the Danish justice system, and I don't want to be anymore. And I actually prefer maybe to stay in Germany or in France or in US or Canadian or Japan or somewhere else, just so we have the clear line of who I am. But I think that your boy Dennis, because we fought so hard that night, that that his soul and his spirit is in shape of a fight, you know. I think that we fight it, and I think that the family, when they move on, have to remember him as a small hero. Amen.